This news update is brought to you by
This is the Barbados Today morning news update for Tuesday, November 3rd. Thank you for joining us. I am Mary-Claire Williams. Our top story, Barbados Today understands that the Frundle-Stewart administration may soon be calling on the former Prime Minister Owen Arthur for advice on the economy. Barbados Today's Kmar Jordan has the story.
Mr. Arthur has reportedly been approached by Finance Minister Chris Sinclair to replace the retiring Sir Frank Alleyne, who is in his late 70s, as head of the Independent Advisory Council on the Economy. The body was first impaneled by the late Prime Minister David Thompson in 2008. It reviews and recommends policy positions for the final approval of Cabinet. Membership of the Council is drawn from the trade union movement, the private sector, government and academia. All indications are that Mr. Arthur is warming to the idea of sharing his expertise to the benefit of the country through this new avenue. When contacted by Barbados Today, Mr. Sinclair said he had no comment to make at this stage. But Mr. Arthur, who is the St. Peter MP, confirmed that he'd been approached to take over as chairman of the Council of Economic Advisers, even though he says, and he was quick to point out, that no formal decision was made by the government. He also made it clear that he was not about to cross the floor at this stage and join the DLP government, but he did acknowledge that the role of economic advisor would require him to work more closely with the government. Kmar Jordan reporting, Barbados Today.
Trinidad conglomerate Ansa McAl is calling for the immediate resignation of the directors of Banks Holdings Ltd. This is the latest development in the ongoing bidding war for control of the local company. We get the details from Barbados Today's Fernella Wedderburn.
The call was prompted by the second circular issued by BHL directors last Wednesday, which encouraged shareholders to accept the offer of $5.60 per share from SLU Beverages, which is owned by Ambev. That bid is 40 cents lower than the latest offer of $6 Ansa McAl through its subsidiary AM Caribbean Development Ventures. The agreement specifies that if any person or group becomes the direct or indirect ultimate owner of BHL shares, representing more than 25% of the total voting power of the BHL shares, then SLU has the ability to require BHL to repurchase the 13.2 million common shares at $10 per share. According to the circular, company directors Anthony King, Elvin Seeley and Richard Cozier, along with a BHL Chief Financial Officer Naresh Karani, have all declared their intention to accept SLU's amended offer. The BHL directors also warned of a negative impact on the company, the shareholders, and its employees. In a statement yesterday, Ansa McAl said the offensive sections of the agreement were adopted by the BHL board without the knowledge or consent of the shareholders, and they violate the relevant provisions of the Companies Act. Ansa McAl says further, the agreement could bankrupt the company if Ansa's bid is successful. The company also called the agreement an unjustifiable impediment to a fair and equitable competitive bidding process. The Trinidad conglomerate says it has lodged a formal complaint to the Financial Services Commission, which supervises public company takeover bids. The company says it has also started the process of challenging the agreement and having the offending provisions struck down as invalid and unenforceable. Fernella Wedderburn, Barbados Today.
Acting Crime Chief Livingston Eversley is reporting that a post-mortem has confirmed that a decomposing body found in a ravine in Halton Plantation over a week ago is that of missing St. Philip woman Marcelle Smith. The 75-year-old Farm Road St. Philip woman went missing 3 weeks ago. However, lawmen are tight-lipped on other results of the autopsy. Smith's car was found abandoned at Chelston Park, Culloden Road on October 18. And police have since charged Cherise Ricardo Omar Ince of Nursery No. 2, 4 Road St. Philip with theft of the vehicle. Meanwhile, police have launched a fresh appeal for help in locating Emila John, who has been missing for almost a month. The 18-year-old of Paynes Bay, St. James, is slim, of light brown complexion and 5 feet 7 inches tall. She has a round face, a small mouth, and has a growth and birthmark on the right side of her back. She was last seen on October 7th, sometime between 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. Police are asking anyone with information on the whereabouts of Emilia John to call the emergency number 211 or the nearest police station. One of the most sought-after legal minds in the Caribbean, Sir Richard Cheltenham, is blaming the slow judicial process for the apparent frequency with which murder accused are granted bail, only to commit other serious offences while awaiting trial. Sir Richard told Barbados today that when a suspect is rotting in jail for upwards of 6 years without a preliminary inquiry, he has the right to ask the court for a temporary release. He also questioned the public's perception that murder accused were frequently being released on bail, and noted it was unusual in Barbados for such people to commit a second murder. He suggested that bail conditions be set in such a way that police can closely monitor the accused.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter. That's the move for me. Stability, prosperity. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
In news from the region, Guyana is moving to merge its top law enforcement agencies. That's part of the overall National Drug Strategies Master Plan, which was drawn up by the former People's Progressive Party civic government. We get more from this report from Capital News.
Government is moving to create a national anti-narcotic agency, NANA, as the administration moves ahead with the implementation of the National Drug Strategy Master Plan. This disclosure was made by President David Granger while speaking on his weekly public interest program. The PPP administration, which demoted office months ago, passed the plan several years ago but never implemented it.
We have accepted or we have examined the existing National Drug Strategy Master Plan, and it is a work in progress. We haven't thrown it out of the window. We will see what is workable and implement those parts that are workable. As I said, the main initiative will be the establishment of the NANA, and whatever changes need to be made will be done as we go along.
The president said the drug trade is believed to have a direct effect on other crimes.
We hear about an execution, and we don't know the reason. We are assuming that some of the transnational crimes that we faced, narco-trafficking, contraband, smuggling, people smuggling, gun running, the transnational crimes will expectedly be brought under control.
President David Granger said it will take some time to bring crime under control, as he made mention of a request of British Prime Minister David Cameron for the reintroduction of the Security Reform Action Plan, which was rejected by the former PPP civic government.
Internationally, the bodies of victims of Saturday's crash over the Egyptian desert have been brought back to St. Petersburg, Russia. They died when their plane crashed just 23 minutes after takeoff. We get more in this report from BBC News.
The remains of their flight are still scattered across the Egyptian desert. Whole families were killed here. The size and spread of the crash site suggests the plane broke up mid-air. There was no chance for any distress signal. But today, the airline declared it was ruling out both technical problems and human error, insisting that planes don't just disintegrate in the sky.
The only possible explanation for a breakup of the aircraft in the air can be a certain impact, some mechanical or physical impact on the plane.
But that is far from clear yet. And in President Putin's first public comments on the disaster, he had no explanation yet for those grieving, just condolences.
At such times, it is very important to feel the support of loved ones and to know that the whole country empathises over this awful catastrophe. Everything should be done to put together a full picture of what happened so that we can react accordingly.
And it's not just the families who are mourning, it's a whole nation. This shrine at the city airport has been growing by the hour. This is where the victims of Flight 9268 should have returned to from their holiday.
That's the morning news. There's more on our website www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates and like us on Facebook. You can catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also tune in to Channel 101 on Flow TV or Mix 96.9 FM for more news. I am Marcelle Williams. Have a good morning.